Then comes the spring, and in his wanderings he finds another group of those beautiful, graceful birds swimming in a pond. He makes a decision in that moment to go to them and ask them if they can accept him into their group, even though he's so ugly. He tells himself, I am what I am, and I want to be myself. He decides that he wants to be accepted for what he is. He doesn't want to have to pretend to be something else in order to fit in or be liked by others. So he gathers up his courage and he moves toward those beautiful birds floating on the pond. As he comes into view and they see him, imagine his surprise and amazement to find that they are happy to see him. They rush to him and welcome him as one of them, even before he opens his mouth to say anything. He doesn't understand. He thinks maybe they're playing some sort of cruel game with him. He lowers his head, wondering what he should do, not trusting the situation. He doesn't get it until as he lowers his head, he sees his own reflection in the water. And what does he see? He sees that he is every bit as beautiful and graceful as those wonderful birds who are welcoming him into their group. He has finally found a place where he fits in. And he says, I never dreamed of such happiness as this while I was an ugly duckling. There are two very important points I want to make about this. Number one is in regards to that last sentence. I never dreamed of such happiness as this while I was an ugly duckling. The truth is, he was never an ugly duckling. He was never a duck at all. He only thought he was a duck because his circumstances told him he was a duck. So he lived his whole life thinking he was a duck. The truth that he was really a swan was there all along. He just needed to find it for himself. The second point I want to make is this. He never, ever would have been accepted by those swans if he hadn't first accepted himself for what he was. He had to do that before he could even begin to take the steps needed to get himself moving in their direction. And if he hadn't been able to accept himself for what he was in the first place, he would have continued to believe what the circumstances of his life had always told him, and he would have turned around and walked the other way, never knowing the truth and always living his life as less than he really was. That is so appropriate for this workshop.